Let's talk Ultraman. Welcome, guys. It's Carrie, aka Nerdygirlcreates, and today is Manga Monday, and we're going to take a look at a classic Japanese superhero that's been brought up to date for the modern times in manga form, and that is, as I said, Ultraman. Now, for those of you who don't know, Ultraman has been around since 1966. It focuses on a human who merges with a alien species, and together they form Ultraman, and Ultraman is this big, like, robotic form, and he battles kaiju that come from other planets in order to protect Japan. Now, the original story focused mostly on Shin, and it was set in like the 60s into the 70s. They've even had other television movies since then. But in this manga, it's more about passing the torch from Shin to his son Shinjiro. Now, it starts off with Shin explaining that the Ultraman alien and him, after they finally battled all the kaiju and other aliens that were invading, the alien himself kind of demerged from the human and went back to his planet. But doing so caused Shin to lose a lot of his memories, and he started to forget he was Ultraman. However, he did still retain a lot of the superpowers he had when he was merged with the alien. And he soon learns that his son Shinjiro also inherited these powers. Now, fast forward, Shinjiro is 17 years old. He's going to high school. He's thinking about a girlfriend. And then suddenly there is an attack from this mysterious alien. And Shin, who's now probably in his 60s, tries to battle this alien, and because of his age, despite his superpowers, he cannot keep up. And Shinjiro finds himself suddenly donning the robotic Ultraman suit in order to battle this alien. Now, the first thing I want to talk about, my favorite thing in the world, is the art. I really do like the art in this. It's very sleek design. Can't show you the interiors because you know why. But it's a very superhero. It really is like this. The battle scenes are just drawn so well in the manga. There is a lot of action. There is a lot of detail. I love how they updated the suit from the classic 1960s to more modern, kind of like Iron Man inspired, but still paying tribute to the original design. It's great. I love how they're trying to go with this mysterious concept of how did Shin retain some of the powers from the Ultraman alien, and how did Shinjiro inherit it. There's a lot of mystery being built with the story. There's this science division who originally helped Shin when he was Ultraman, who is now pushing Shinjiro to be Ultraman, but you kind of feel like there's some type of ulterior motive going on. And you wonder if there's something that's not being said. It also kind of interesting to show how Shinjiro has to win over the public as the new Ultraman, because it's been several years since Ultraman's around. So like there's a new generation who wasn't alive during the time of the original Ultraman. So they're kind of like, is this real or did it really happen? You know, there's a lot of questions. To them, it's almost like a fantasy, and it's only the older people who really know what happened. And like I said, Shin is losing his memory, so he doesn't remember a lot of the stuff that happened during his time as Ultraman. There are some things, though, that do bother me with this story. Like I said, the art is great. The action sequences are great. They do build up a lot of mystery. I do have some problems, though, when it comes to how they depict the main character. There's a lot of choices they make that I'm kind of I think is silly. Like, for example, the father knows he has these superpowers, and he knows he's passed them on to the son. He has the science division reminding him about the fact he was Ultraman. There's moments where he has sparks of memory. But instead of kind of trying to sit down with the kid when he was younger, when they first discovered he had powers, they kind of just like keep it hush hush and don't talk to him about anything. Meanwhile, this kid knows he's different, and he kind of handles it really well, which is odd. I mean, he's jumping building to building, But yeah, he does complain that he doesn't have full control of the abilities, which contradicts later on. But I don't understand why the father would hide it from him or the science division. Yes, I know maybe they want him to have a normal life, but at the same sense, this kid's got a lot of power that, the wrong moment could cause a lot of problems for everybody. And I don't understand why they just kind of like, no, we're not going to tell him. The other thing, like I was saying, the kid Shinjiro talks about how he is having a hard time controlling his powers, but later on, when the father is battling the alien and loses, Shinjiro jumps into the Ultraman suit, goes down there, and starts fighting like a seasoned pro. Yeah, look, I call this out, especially when they do this a lot with female characters, and I'm going to call it out now, even with the male character. The kid's had no training. The father never told him about his powers. The only thing he's been doing is jumping from rooftop to rooftop because it's fun, because he's 17. But when did he get combat training? Because this kid is holding his own in this fight, and he's even mentioned prior that he can't really fight because he doesn't know how to hold back. And I get it, in this fight with the alien, he doesn't need to. But again, he's fighting like a seasoned pro. And it's one of those things that bother me. There was like no training. There was no like, okay, you have these powers, son, so over the years, we're going to show you how to control them so you can live a normal life and, nobody's going to find out. I mean, there's one point the kid, when he's out with his friends, accidentally breaks a bully's leg. Like, nobody's concerned about this. But then later on, he's fighting like he's done this like every day since he was born. And I hate that. I kind of wanted to see him more struggling, trying to get used to the suit, because that's another thing. He gets in the suit and it's like he knows how to use it. There's like no explanation, unless it's coming later in the upcoming volumes. But there's like no explanation on how he can just work this suit, how he's just already like one-on-one with it. I mean, I'll give you an example. Like, there's an anime I love called Tiger and Bunny, and one of the characters, who's an old school superhero, Tiger, he suddenly gets an upgrade to like a robotic suit. He used to have the traditional like costume, but now he's in a robotic suit, and you see him trying to figure out everything. Things don't go well, and he kind of blunders his first mission with his partner. I was kind of expecting this kid to struggle a little with the sudden change. I mean, I don't know, you want to blame adrenaline, but the suit itself should have been like an obstacle. That's just my opinion. I mean, even Iron Man had to figure out how he was doing everything, and he made the suit. This kid just kind of like takes off running. And then you get this impression, because there's a moment where something is hinted that you think maybe there is definitely something else they're not saying about this kid. I've only read the first volume. I haven't gotten to the rest yet, but that's my major problem with it. Now, everything else seems to do well. There's like this great relationship with the father and the son, except for the fact the father's been hiding everything from him. The son actually takes everything really well, which is another little disturbing thing. Your father's been hiding all these secrets from you. You'd think maybe you'd be a little disappointed at least. But he kind of handles it very well. Him and the father have a good relationship. The father never wanted this for him, but I guess he realized that, because the kid has inherited all these abilities, Shinjiro is, more than likely going to take up the mantle. And all that he could do is, like, support it. But, art-wise, great. Curious to see where the story is going, because I'm not really as familiar with Ultraman. I know there's, like, a team at one point in the original series. Like to see if that happens in this. I do want a little bit more with Shinjiro not being so much one-dimensional. I want to see some struggle. I want to see him like trying to realize that this isn't just like, oh, cool, I'm a superhero, but I want some reality to hit him. That's the best way I could put it. I know there's an anime. I will be honest. I did try to watch the anime. I prefer my anime mostly being 2D. I don't like when they go full 3D because it looks really weird. And I just had a hard time. The costume looked great in the anime. They adapted it really well from the manga. But mostly I wasn't thrilled with that. Not really watched the other shows. I did watch one. It's kind of like, you remember the old Toho Godzilla? That's how the Ultraman show was. It was pretty much a guy in a suit who is giant size fighting another guy in a monster suit like Godzilla. This is more up to date, much more sophisticated, better effects, but I really am not crazy about the 3D animation. When it comes to anime, I mean, I don't mind some 3D animation in there as long as it blends well. But for some reason, when they do the human forms in like the 3D, it just looks weird. But then again, that's my opinion. Again, this is Ultraman, the new manga series that came out in 2011. I say new because it's the newer version of Ultraman. And I'm going to see how it goes. Like I said, I want some more stakes at hand when it comes to Shinjiro. He's right now very one-dimensional, and I would like to see some stuff happen to make him realize this isn't just all fun and games. I'd like to see him, you know, fall so he can get back up again, because those are the kind of heroes I like. I like my Spider-Man. I like my X-Men. I like the characters who have to constantly up against adversity and then try to overcome it. And maybe that'll happen. I don't know yet. But for right now, if you're interested, I would say check it out. It is on Comixology. It's also on Amazon and Right Stuff. So yeah, it's pretty good. And the two people behind it, Ichi Shimizu, I hope I said that right, Tomohiro Shimaguchi, are huge fans of Ultraman, so they put their heart and soul into it, because they have these little blurbs at the end of the manga where they go on about how much they loved watching it growing up, and that they feel so honored to be doing this. And again, I think they did pretty much a good job. The only thing is, I think they need to do more with the main character. That's my opinion. So tell me, have you read Ultraman? Have you read anything like it? Go ahead, comment down below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And I will see you on the next video. Bye.